Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe.
So we finished yesterday verse 213. So today we will start from verse 214. Is this correct?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, dear.
Oh, Gurudev saying we didn't quite finish 213.
Okay.
My God, what a memory that Gurudev has. Yes. The last paragraph we didn't read.
My God.
I can't remember this, and Gurudev is resting, and he remembers perfectly. 200, the very last.
Yes.
Page 75.
Yeah, because the last part is very tasty point, huh? Cream.
Maybe read the verse itself first, dear.
Yes. We need you, Gurudev. Without you, we are no.
With water? No.
Radha. So, by all your mercy, we are reading Shri Shri Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi, verse 213. When will I somehow fall asleep at the end of the boar bed of Radha and Madhupati, who are the very forms of very blissful, intoxicating, nectarian love rasa, while I softly massage their lotus feet. When will I somehow fall asleep at the end of the boar bed of Radha and Madhupati, who are the very forms of very blissful, intoxicating, nectarian love rasa, while I softly massaging their lotus feet, the Rashika sleep of Radha's maidservants. Last paragraph, prayer is like this. Rai and Kanu, Radha and Krishna are like a rasa ocean of intense delight and the luster of love nectar. Again, Radha and Krishna are like a rasa ocean of intense delight and the luster of love nectar. They are sweetness personified. When Radha and Madhupati fall asleep on their bed in the beautiful jeweled temple, I will softly massage their lotus feet and serve them by fanning them. Sripada Prabodhananda says, when will I then fall asleep of exhaustion at the end of the bed and thus stay at their lotus feet? This is the end of verse 213.
Switch open and not that side. Here. Here.
Remember,
Second.
Remember that this verse is describing the spiritual world. And the spiritual world we cannot experience with our material senses. We cannot experience it as material devotees, sadhakas. But in this book and other books, it's presented to us in shapes and colors and descriptions of material things. Radha and Mohan are, what does the verse say? It says at the end too, they are Rasa, ocean of pleasure. This is a spiritual thing. What does it look like to our material eyes? Well, in order for us to understand it, Radha and Mohan have a form. They have bodies. They have smell. They have color. So the verse says that Radha and Madhupati are the forms of nectarian love. The form is the way they look to the senses so that we can understand them, or so that Prabhupada can understand them. So instead of saying, well, what does pure nectarian love look like? Prabhupada describes for us a beautiful girl and a beautiful boy. These are just forms that are created for our minds, because true nectarian pleasure is purely spiritual. It can't be seen with our eyes and with our minds. So whenever we see the word form in these books, we can understand it this way. This is the way transcendental feelings are presented for our mundane minds. Whenever you see a picture of Radha, you can imagine this is a picture of pure love for God, prema. But since we can't see prema with our material eyes, we are given the picture of a beautiful girl. But every color and every smell and every form, her arms and her waist, her breasts, these are all the outward expression of pure love. Radhe Radhe.
So beautiful. So, anyone else to share some your sweet feelings? So then, shall we go verse 214?
Yes.
Yes. Shri Shri Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi, verse 214. When will I forget everything else while mentally serving that heroine who is expert in all the arts of love-making, who is seen on the lovely forest path of Shri Vrindavan, and who has deep, passionate feelings, accepting a very sweet and devoted mood in my heart. I will dwell in a kunja on the bank of the Yamuna that is filled with an abundance of the fresh nectar of love rasa, fresh nectar of love rasa that flows from Sri Radha's lotus feet. When will I forget everything else while mentally serving that heroine who is expert in all the art of lovemaking, who is seen on the lovely forest paths of Sri Vrindavan, and who has deep passionate feelings, accepting a very sweet and devoted mood in my heart. I will dwell in a kunja on the bank of the Yamuna that is filled with an abundance of the fresh nectar of love rasa that flows from Sri Radha's lotus feet. Sweet mental service.
Maybe Kishori, I could comment.
Please.
Just to continue what I was saying before, I hope it helps us to understand. That's why I do that. That when we read in the verse, lovemaking, this is not material lovemaking. This is not hugs and kisses and the rest. This is spiritual lovemaking. There's no material activities going on here. And when we talk of forest paths, there's no material forest path. There's a spiritual forest path. And when we talk about what else? The Yamuna. It's not the material Yamuna, the water flowing down the way. It's the spiritual Yamuna. So when we're reading and we hear about lovemaking or the forest path or the Yamuna, then we try to think, what are the feelings that are lying in these things? Lovemaking must mean something like, spiritually mean something like passing along the deepest emotions. So instead of imagining Radha as the expert material lovemaker, let's think of her as the expert of giving love in the emotional sense. When we think of the forest path, instead of a material place in the forest, think of it as a path of our feelings, winding and changing as we go through our day. And when we think of the Yamuna, it's not just water. We can think of it as feeling that's flowing, huge amounts of feeling flowing that we can touch and come close to with our hearts. So if we sometimes think of these verses that way, spiritually, instead of materially, we can make some progress in our own meditations. Radha, thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm wondering why this word love-making love. Actually, in this word to word, it's not written about love-making word. It means, just now Uta Prabhu says, like it's totally beyond which we think love-making. Like similar word, it here, like a lalita or lati, means very pure, innocent, pleasure for that. It's difficult to make word, but just we try to feel, and especially for me, I'm waiting mercy to understand the real meaning of this love making.
That's the task. We live in a material world, all of us, and yet we are spiritual beings. We are both at the same time. But for most of us, our spiritual consciousness is covered or blocked by all our activities and our material desires. But at the very bottom, we're pure spiritual beings too. We have a svarup, a pure spiritual form. And the task for us in our sadhana is to come from the one to the other. How to go from being material, ordinary person to spiritual, extraordinary person. How to go from that room inside me that is material to that room inside me that is spiritual. And the answer in Bhakti Sadhana is to hear about the Leelas in a beautiful, loving, poetic language. And let our minds pass from the material Yamuna to the spiritual Yamuna by feeling what it would feel. Yeah. Or from the spiritual forest path from the material forest path to the spiritual forest path. This is the way to take our material existence and connect it through feeling to our spiritual. The bridge between the two is feeling. That's why we read beautiful books like these.
Yes, and this commentary title is Sweet Mental Service. It's just now we talked about sweet mental service. Commentary. Raghunatha practice is of two kinds from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 22. There are two kinds of practice. External and internal.
Means material and spiritual. External.
Externally, by hearing and chanting in one's external material body. And internally means mentally. Mentally, by thinking of one's own Siddhadeha, spiritual body. In this spiritual body, one serves Mohan in Braja day and night. Also, Smarana or remembrance of Radha Madhava's pastimes and one's own service therein is main limb of Raganuga Bhakti. Still, the external practice of hearing and chanting should not be neglected. I'm very thankful to you all. The external practice of hearing and chanting nourishes the internal remembrance of the desired service. And the internal remembrance also nourishes the external practice of hearing and chanting. An effort to give up hearing and chanting untimely and only to continue the mental service will not be successful. Rather, the mind will gradually dry up and become contaminated by sensual thoughts. Both external and internal practice must be done, therefore.
The miracle of Raganuga Bhakti, we cannot explain it. It is that when we think of these things, they awaken feelings. We look at a material flower with material eyes. Our intelligence says flower, and yet something greater happens in us. We feel something. We feel something in our hearts from the beauty of the flower. We hear music with our material ears. The musical is material sound waves. And our intelligence says, do, re, mi, but something else happens. We feel something. So it is impossible for a jiva to experience the world and not feel something. Whenever we experience the world materially, we feel something spiritually. It's very often just a tiny little feeling. When I see a flower, I have a tiny little heartbeat. This is because there's a tiny little bit of our soul speaking. And our task is to grow this. And our goal is that the only reaction to flower is feelings. The only reaction to other jivas is feelings. And when the heart is fully in feelings, then we're in our sarup. This is what Siddhadeha looks like, the perfect spiritual body. We live in the world through our heart only. This is where we're going. It's a really wonderful text of Anantadas Babaji here, Kishori.
Yes. And this last part, our Anantadas Baba says, our Gurudev Sadhu Maharaj totally, it's himself. This sentences. An effort to give up hearing and chanting untimely, if we try to give up hearing and chanting, and only to continue the mental service, will not be successful. Even though Gurudev is already Siddha, he knows everything, but what he is doing every day instead now in this moment also, he shows us example from his experiences. This is Acharyas, what they are doing. If we give up hearing and chanting, what happens? Rather, the mind will gradually dry up and become contaminated by sensual thoughts. It's wow. That's why Baba says both external and internal practice must be done, therefore. We are very thanks to our mandil, our sisters and brothers. Try to keep Sangha, this listening, chanting. And thanks to Gurudev to show us this example. We should keep this Sangha. Shall we continue?
Yes.
And then, what a wonderful mental service Shripada aspires for in this verse. It is a brilliant example for all practitioners of Raganuga Bhakti. An ever fresh abundance of flame rasa streams from Radha's lotus feet into the kunja on the bank of the Yamuna, where Shripada served Sri Radha Mohana. Although Radha and Mohan externally played their transcendental pastimes in sweet Vrindavan Dharma, this is not visible to the eyes of the ordinary man. The word Mahodara Mahodara, very generous in the text means Mahodara, the pure love, which is free from any kind of desire for personal sense gratification. A person who serves Radha and Mohan with such pure love will gradually become purified and become aware of his Siddha Swarupa, his actual eternal transcendental identity.
Really important. This. Our Siddha Swarup is there. Our transcendental spiritual identity is there. And we only have to become aware of it, to become conscious of it. And how to do that? Well, it's easy. We just love, what does Ananda say? We love generously with Mahodara, which means we love without any benefit for ourselves. If we learn to do this, then we become aware of our spiritual identity.
Yeah, this last sentence is well. A person who serves Radha and Mohan with such pure love will gradually, it's same as Prabhupada, gradually, and serve Radha Mohan. Then purified, just today Uta Prabhu also says, remove our blockage, remove our cover, then aware, we can see aware. Means it's not like something comes from outside. It's already here for everyone. Just this material covering is problem. Then aware. They are already here, but it's my problem. I cannot see them. But here, Anantadas Baba says, the serves Radha and Mohan with such a pure love will gradually become purified from material blockage, means for our sense gratification. Then become aware. Which aware? Yeah, Siddha Swarupa. Please.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yes. You become aware of Shirasa. But I was going to ask, what means serve? I think this is also confusing for devotees. What means serve Radha Mohan? Selflessly, spiritually. It doesn't mean serve materially. Like, for example, our dear Mahabhav was sweetly serving prasad to everyone a moment ago. This is good practice for spiritual serving. Very important. But what is spiritual serving? It means giving not some toast and coffee. It means giving on a platter my whole heart to Radha Mohan. Giving all of me, which in a way means saying all of me is yours, already yours. All of my feelings, yes, of course, but also all of my energy. This is for you. It's not a thing. It's not toast and coffee. It's not my memories or my intelligence. It's my me-ness, my who I am. It's very, I struggle to say it because that's hard to say. It means saying, there's nothing in me which is not belonging to you. So this is pure seva when we talk about this. Radha,
Yeah, so beautiful. So beautiful. This is pure. And here Baba says, Siddha Swarupa is his actual, eternal, transcendental identity. Who am I? And this is actual means real and eternal. Could you say more about this actual, eternal, transcendental identity?
Well, I like very much what you said, Kishori, that actual means real. My Siddha Swarup is who I really am. And everything else is confusing who I really am. My body, my job, my car, my big feet, they're making me think that these things are real and that they're the source of my happiness, my job and my car. But we know that they're not real. What is real is my soul, my Siddha Swarup. And Babaji says it's eternal because my soul has always been there and will always be there. My illusions about my soul will come and go. In this life, I have big feet. In next life, I will be a monkey and have long arms. But the soul will be the same. It always was. And transcendental means, of course, that it takes us away from the material. Radha.
Radha. And from your words, I feel if we try to do, just try to do pure seva, automatically we try to remember our real identity, Swarupa, right?
With some ice and lemon.
Yes, Kishori.
Even though I'm not pure, at least I'm not pure, but I want to, of course, I want to try serve as much as pure. Then automatically we try to remember as much as my real identity by Radha Mohan's mercy and Guru Deva's mercy. This is identity. Who am I? Still in process, but this process, if we try to continue by mercy, then one day we really aware our own Siddha Swarupa.
Swarup is not in process. Swarup is eternal, but the path to Swarup is process. Yes.
That's why, so here, external and internal practice must be doing action, remembering both. A person who serves Radha and Mohan with such pure love will gradually become purified and become aware of his Siddha Swarupa, his actual eternal transcendental identity. Shripada says, when will I forget everything while accepting this sweet Mahodara mood and mentally serve that jewel of grave? Yet, passionate heroines that is so expert in the art of love. Once again, when will I forget everything while accepting this sweet Mahodara mood and mentally service that jewel of grave, yet passionate heroines that is so expert in the art of love.
A little bit error in the translation there.
Mm.
Will I forget everything means when will I forget my material consciousness? When will I go out of my material consciousness? While accepting this sweet Mahudara mood, this mood of perfect generosity, only giving, and mentally serve that jewel, which is Radha, of grave, that means serious, grave yet passionate heroine that is so expert in the arts of love. And again, we remember arts of love, it's not material lovemaking, it's spiritual arts of love, which must mean something like expertly giving love. Think the miracle of knowing how to love God himself, Mohan, in a perfect way, so that he's perfectly happy. This is perfection in the arts of love. Me, I'm very good at giving love to my cats. Expert. Cats. Very good at this. But we must be higher than this. So imagine being the highest expert in giving love. So that you can even give love directly to Mohan. This is what Radha is.
Thank you. It helped your explanation. And here, it mentioned about Radha 2 ways. Jewel of grave and passionate heroines. It's like an opposite. Both is beautiful, but jewel is look like cool and shiny and not move. And passionate is very active and hot. This is like a Mahabharata. Both sides she has cool beauty and very fire mood.
Yeah, she has all sides, doesn't she?
This is only Radha possible. Although she is as grave as millions of oceans, Shrimati passionately goes out to meet Shama in a grove on the bank of the Yamuna, followed by her maidservant. She is grave, but very passionate.
Serious but passionate. You say it very well, Kishori. She's hot and cold at the same time. Hot and cool at the same time.
She have every taste.
Yes.
So.
And actually, Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi is a long story about all her different tastes. We go from verse to verse and we learn about new tastes she has, new kinds of feelings, new kinds of moods. This is what we're reading about. Because since she is the god, the goddess, and we want to become servants of the goddess, we want to understand all of her tastes. And that is why Prabhupada is so merciful. He's helping us to discover these tastes and moods.
Yes, it's amazing book. Like an ocean, this title, as it is, Sudhanidhi, ocean. Ocean means come and go. Like opposite but same. And all flow, always wave flowing, always moving. What is next? And no wave is same. never and always fresh. That's why beautiful. Gurudev always says. So grave and passionate. Sweet and hot.
Oh,
Yeah. So here Swamini passionately, Srimati looks all around, thinking, where is my Prananata? Where is my Prananata? Beautifying the whole of Vrindavan with her glances. Passionate Radha see for the Vrindavan become beautiful because of her passionate love. When Madhusudana, the Rashka Krishna bee, Madhusudana catches Nagari Mani's bodily fragrance, he becomes attracted to her and approaches her on the forest path. But grave Radhika shows signs of opposition. She gives great relish to her hero by showing this opposition, because that simply increases his amorous eagerness. The whole Kunja is inundated by the flood of Sri Radha's Prema Rasa as Radhika gives indescribable ecstasy to her lover with her artful love-making. Shripada thinks to himself, when will I be so fortunate that I can mentally serve that sweet, romantic pair in the bushes on the bank of the Yamuna. This is the end of verse 214.
Prabhupada could have written a very short book. 1 page, 1 sentence, 2 or 3 words. The lovers come together. But this is not the point. We're not interested in this. We're interested in the hundreds of different kinds of attraction they have for each other. The different ways that they come together and move apart. The different ways they feel pride and anger and desire, passion. We're not interested in them being one. We're interested in them being two. We're interested in the love that flows between them. So we're always interested in the play of love, not in the end of love. If they were one, the love would be done. We want them to be two so that the love will go on and on and on. So we have a thick book about the 1,000 different ways that love happens. We are servants of love, not of Radha Mohan, but of love itself. So we like long books.
And with all of you, we read together, then always new taste come. Never end by all your mercy. So, let's try read this verse again. When will I forget everything else while mentally serving that heroine who is expert in all the art of lovemaking, who is seen on the lovely forest paths of Shri Vrindavana, and who has deep, passionate feelings, accepting a very sweet and devoted mood. In my heart, I will dwell in a kunja on the bank of the Yamuna that is filled with an abundance of the fresh nectar of love rasa that flows from Shri Radha's lotus feet. Jai Shri Radha.
I think we'll stop here today. Things are a bit quiet here in Mungar Mandir.
Yes.
Let's keep in our minds this beautiful line that Kishori read about the Siddha Swarup. A person who serves Radha and Madhava with such pure love will gradually become purified and become aware of his or her Siddha Swarup, his or her actual, eternal, transcendental identity. By serving with pure love, we will reach this result.
Jai Shri Radha. Thank you so much.
Jai Shri Radha.
Jai Shri Radha.
Jai Shri Radha.
So just I remember one thing about pure love. It's not about class. One Japanese baby, she is 2 years old, making birthday card when Radha Mohan's birthday. And for her, it's natural to give a birthday card to Radha Mohan because it's their birthday. So I learn from her what is pure love. Sometimes babies have pure love. Pure love is pure love. Just this come to my heart and spontaneously share it. Sorry.
You used another very nice word, which is natural. Pure love is natural love.
Radhe Radhe Go.